Thank you all for being here. Wow, standing room only, so thank you those in the back for powering through. So with the help of Anand in a little bit, I want to go through and really talk about how we are going to help all of you adopt AI securely. Now, I like to do these things in a sort of programmatic, structured manner. And in this regard, I think relative to AI security, I think the industry often will jump too far ahead, and they just build point products, and then they try to sell them, and they never actually take a step back and think about what's actually happening, what are they trying to secure, and how to do it in a comprehensive manner. And so to sort of walk through this, what I thought I'd start with is, first, how is AI evolving? Now, I understand we've all seen copilots and prompts. That's not going to blow your mind. I get it. But this was sort of the first generation. This was the generation a little bit over 3 years ago that we were all introduced to when we first saw that ChatGPT prompt, and we started thinking like, oh, this could do something interesting. It was sort of like having a really lazy, smart friend. They didn't do anything for you. They just answer your questions, which was helpful. It's good to have someone answer your questions. What has happened since then, though, is the fastest technology revolution we've ever seen. Because you think about it, in just 3 years, AI has started to infiltrate every single thing that we do, right? AI has started writing code. AI has shown up in applications. Those applications start to have some level of autonomous nature, aka agents. We've seen it start to show up in browsers. Basically, everywhere that any work is being done, it is starting to show up in just 3 years. And I know 3 years is a long time, but at the same time, in enterprise, 3 years, normally nothing happens for the most part when things first come along. Think about how long it took for cloud to be adopted. Think about how long it took for SaaS applications to become commonplace, right? Now, why is this, right? So normally I don't get my news from Twitter, LinkedIn, or Reddit. But over the last, I'd say 9 to 12 months, what we started seeing show up was pretty interesting. We started seeing people post about using vibe coding to write a C compiler in 2 weeks. Now, why anyone would actually write a new C compiler, I'm not really sure. But the fact that it could be done in 2 weeks is interesting, really interesting, right? I like it when they say, it kind of works. Now, we can fall into the accuracy trap and say, it didn't really work, so therefore we should ignore this technology. No, no, no. If this is what we were seeing just 6, 9, 12 months ago, and you look at how far this has come, think about where it's going to be 12 months from now. Because that's what all of us have to do, is think about how accurate this is going to be in 12 months, and what we have to put in place today in order for all of us to be able to securely adopt that, right? Same thing is about to happen in the browser. Now, it's already happening in consumer browsers. You can say, well, it hasn't infiltrated my enterprise browser yet. Okay, how much longer is that going to hold off? Every one of your employees is going to see what their consumer browser is able to do for them, and they're going to start demanding that they have the same capabilities from an enterprise perspective, right? Because it's the perfect place to give them a personal assistant to perform tasks on their behalf. And then, of course, where it all started, which is AI applications. AI infusing itself into applications, and then those applications increasingly building autonomous capability, where they're not only able to perform a task for the end user, but they're able to actually start to connect to other applications or other agents and perform autonomous levels of capability. So as all of that is happening, what you can anticipate is over the next couple of years, these green shoots of AI in enterprise are going to very quickly become ubiquitous. Everything that happens in the browser is going to be AI-enabled or AI-driven. Everything that happens in enterprise, everything that happens from a coding perspective, it's going to be everywhere. Now, it's not just going to be the same stuff, but with AI. There's going to be a few things that are going to change. First and foremost, we are going to go through a shift from sort of helper to autonomous. Today, most AI is helper. The user interacts with it, and it helps the user be more productive. Now, to be clear, some of that will still be happening. But you're going to see more and more cases where it is machines performing autonomous tasks. Use case by use case, that transformation is going to happen. It's going to start with the use cases that are the lowest risk, and the status quo is sort of the worst, right? Low downside, a lot of upside, that is where it's going to start. And it will spread use case by use case. We're going to start to see enterprise process data applications not built for humans, but machines building it for machines. Think about it. How much time goes into building dashboards so that your users, your administrators can log in and look at a dashboard to see what's going on to then decide what action to take? Well, if it's an agent that's going to take the action, you don't need a dashboard. It won't know what to do with the dashboard. It'll be much more effective if you get access to the actual data. And so the mindset and the development process is going to change. And probably my favorite one is we're going to rethink workflows. This is not just going to be the human-centered workflow, but with agents performing it. We're going to rethink what the right workflow is going to be when it's an agent that can run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with access to unlimited data and knowledge. Right? Think about how much energy goes into prioritizing which alerts a SOC analyst is going to look at. Why do we do that? We do it because we only have so many SOC analysts and they only have so much time. But what if you have SOC analyst agents and you don't have to prioritize their time and they can simply run continuously? You'll change the workflow, you'll change the process. And so I think not only are we going to see just general AI adoption go up by a lot, we're going to see a transformation of how the enterprise is architected as well. Now, let's talk about then how to secure these things. And let's start by actually understanding how these things work. And I'm going to start with an example which is a real example. You're going to look at it and say, that doesn't look real. This is a real example. Would you deploy this application if you had to give it access to pretty much all of your data? And it could send that data to other applications. And you didn't have visibility into these actions. And Nikesh gave the example. It could write its own code to bypass any controls you try to put in place. And it was almost impossible to do a full security review. Would you deploy it? I almost want to see a show of hands. I'm guessing no one's going to raise their hand. Yet I'm guessing all of you have actually done this. Because this is a pretty close approximation to how vibe coding works. Now, this is what many people would want you to believe as the security people that are potentially in the way of rolling this out across an entire enterprise. They want to say, no, 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 it's okay. It's just an application. It's going to connect to Jira to get bug information. It's going to have an LLM, but don't worry about it. Now, the reality is, when you look at how these applications actually work, there is a whole infrastructure that is running in addition to this agent. There are new things called skills and hooks that did not exist 9 months ago. Those things come from marketplaces that did not exist 6 months ago. Uncontrolled, unregulated, who knows what, sitting in them, that these vibe coding agents will go out, download in order to learn new capabilities. And then with those capabilities, they'll connect to just about anything you have, if they believe it is useful for accomplishing the task that was given to it. That's how they actually work. And that requires security technology to be invented that did not exist 12 months ago. We'll talk through that. The browser is very similar. I won't go through the same level of detail, but the browser is the same thing. On the surface, it looks wonderful. It's a browser with AI. In reality, that AI component has access to your authentication. It has access to cookies, to data, to cache history. It has access to all of the tabs that are open. And it's not just connecting to an AI model, right? It's connected to password infrastructure, databases. It shows up as this nice little window, but all of that other connectivity exists. And of course, where it all started, AI applications. It seemed innocuous when we added AI to an application. What was overlooked was the architecture of the application changed. Applications were typically architected in 3 tiers with segmentation between them. There's a set of security controls. We all understood that. When AI showed up, something changed. What changed was for the AI component to work, it had to be connected to everything else. It had to be connected to the data source. It had to be connected to the training data. It has to be connected to the vector DB. It has to be connected to other parts, other applications. It has, in many cases now, with agentic applications, it gets connected to other agents with similar access to data. And so what changed in the architecture not only required the need to protect the AI app itself, required an ability to understand all the other connectivity and make sure that those were secured as well. It's not just the front door. It's all the side doors and back doors that get opened along with it. And so that is why, in a nutshell, we have been so forward-leaning in thinking about AI security, organically, inorganically, partnering, because we see how fast AI adoption is happening, and we understand how important it is to be able to give you the tools to adopt it. You're not going to be able to hold back the wave. There are way too many benefits of AI to hold it back. We have to enable it. To enable it, we have to be iterating and innovating as fast as AI is. And that is why we've been so focused on that. And that is why today we have the largest AI security launch in our history. We have Prisma AIRS 3.0, a whole bunch of new capabilities around how we extend AI security to agents. One of the key elements of that is going to be, we're going to talk about an agentic gateway that we've been working on and that we'll be launching soon, which we believe is a critical component to securing AI adoption in the near future. CyberArk is going to play an absolutely critical role in our architecture for how to secure agents, because they're going to have their own identities. They have to. You cannot secure an agent if all you see is the developer that is using it from an identity perspective and a permissions perspective. We have to be able to separate that out. We have to understand what they are, what they're communicating with, what data, what permissions they should have. We talked about Koi. We announced that last month. It's our latest acquisition. This is one where our team started by adopting it internally. And then we met with them. And then we said, you know what, not only do we want to use the product, we actually want the entire team and the technology to be part of Palo Alto Networks. Because what they do is they give us visibility and security for all of the AI components that are being adopted on the endpoint itself, the agentic endpoint, including, of course, vibe coding is the biggest use case there. And last but not least, Prisma browser for agentic AI. We take all of the amazing, great capabilities we have for securing everything that happens inside the browser. And now we are embedding AI in that and the enterprise controls necessary to secure the use of AI in the browser. That is how we will enable the browsing use case. So this is by far our biggest announcement on AI security.